Hello folks, and welcome to PageTiger Tutorials. My name is Dave and I will be walking you through the mystery that is the PageTiger document. So in this tutorial I would really like to have a look at the interactions part of the PageTiger, which is going to be interesting because we'll just get into it. So let's click on, once we log in, we land on the landing page or the home page, and we find our document and we click on design. So when we click on design, it'll always take us into the design tab. You'll notice that if you were using the one of the other versions, like one of the other layouts, then that was prefabricated, then you might need to click on contents or interactivity, but it'll always take you to here, depending on regardless of what tab is up here. We have a few things that we might want to click on here. We have, for example, this is the Belfast Co-Production Learning Development Team. We might want to create an interaction for that to take us to the Belfast Co-Production Learning Development Team webpage, their Facebook page, and we have an email here that we might want us to send an email. We could also put in here just in English, because my Latin is rusty, go to page 2. We save that up. You can see we have go to page 2. So there we have 3 kind of common interactions that you might use in on a document like this, or in a brochure, or in a paper of some description. So the first thing we need to go to is interactivity, and you'll notice that we have an interactivity here. Oh, okay. So because of the let's have a look. Oops, we have to go back to design. Yeah, so you have to get used to doing that. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna undo a lot of that stuff. We'll go back to interactivity so we can see what's going on. So here we have an interactivity already, and it looks like it's been automatically generated because it says here send email to. I'm just look at the interactivity, send email to. So this one's been automatically generated for us. So if I go to the link, it'll show us some options for sending an email. Now we're under interactivity here, which is why it's showing up as yellow. So this is the space that'll be clickable once we actually have a look at this. So if I go to page preview just here, we can see it now shows up blue, and if I click it, you can't see it, but it's trying to open up my own personal email client, which is very useful. So if we go back to interactivity, click on the interactive box, and then select the link. We can add in other details here. We can add in a CC. We can add in a subject matter, and we could actually put in a bit of body of text for the main message. So for example, you might, if you have if it's a calendar, or if it's a brochure for like a, I don't know, employment brochure, you could actually put the name of the brochure in the subject so that you would know when the email came back to you where the email was coming from, and you could use that in your informatics. So and also the same goes for the message. You could actually just type, start there, dear such and such, and then that would actually be added into the email client, so the person sending the email wouldn't need to type in very much for you to answer their query. And it also means that you can structure it in a way that you can understand it and not necessarily what they need. So that's very good. I'm just going to go to the page 2 here, and I'm going to add just a little bit of content. Just throw a text box in here and just type in one of the things it doesn't do is load the text box with the cursor, which is a bit annoying. welcome to page 2. Okay, so we're going to save that up. I say save it up, we're just going to leave it as is. It'll save itself. And we go back to our original page. Now you see I've used the pages system on the right hand side. We could have just as easily selected it from the pull down list or used the toggling arrows. I have deleted our page 2, our go to page 2 thing, so I'll go back and put it back in. I think I was doing the undos because I wasn't sure what was going on with that interaction. So go to page 2. Okay, perfect. Save that up. So there we have it there. So now if we go back to interactivities, okay, we have to remember this, because anytime you move something, you will have to go back into the interactivities and make sure that the corresponding tag has moved with it. It can be a little bit frustrating, but it's well worth doing it. To add an interactivity, we can click the chain, and we can either link to a web page, which we'll do in a second. We can jump to a page within this version, or we can send an email. Now we're going to jump to a page within this version. And we'll just highlight over the top of it there. And we're going to jump to page 2. Now this could have been page 12 or page 30 or whatever. The other beautiful thing about it is if we add in some pages between 2 and 3, it will automatically adjust this. Now you see that we've got the rotate, the spinny thing. So it's doing something. If I just click off it and then click back on it, we're golden. So I'll shift that down. We can use the arrow keys to do that as long as we have the handles selected. And if I go to version preview, I can click on go to page 2. Here we have welcome to page 2. And then we have one here saying go to page 1. And it would allow us to kind of shift back and forth. A lot of people, what they do is they put like a little home button on here to allow people to go back to the, in fact, if I were to into activity, so go to design, if I were to go here and just draw a box just like that, go select an image, and I think I've done one for, I think I created, where we go. So there we go, and then we can kind of go to interactivity and go to link, jump to a page within this document, or this version, sorry, copy, and then obviously have it set to go to page 1. And that means to say that, you know, if we go to page preview, it'll send us back to page 1. We can go back to page 2 and go back to page 1. So it doesn't matter how big how long your document is, you can always jump back to the first page, which can be very helpful for users. The other interactivity I wanted to do was the to the Belfast Co-Production and Learning and Development Team webpage, or sorry, Facebook group. So we can, it may not show here, but I will do it anyway, and then we can look at, or at least you can see how it's done. So we can go to add the link. Now we're under interactivity. We can link to a web page. We just highlight the area, and then it asks us where we want to go. So I'm just going to paste in the Facebook reference, hit save, and if we go to page preview, like I say, oh, there we go. So there we go. That's us there. Feel free to join us, by the way. So there's some really interesting things you can do with the interactivity. This video is coming on 9 minutes, so that's grand. Listen, I think that's probably enough for today. There are other bits and pieces there, which I think I'll probably do another video on that. Thank you very much for listening. Of course, sorry, we should do this first. We always update our document after we've made the changes. So that's our document updated. You can see that, well, maybe nothing's changed since the last time, because we've added the stuff that's not visible to the naked eye. But thank you very much for listening, and I look forward to seeing you at the next tutorial.